Ciao, sono Anna e questo è My Italian Circle. Sometimes we have to turn down an invitation. It happens, right? And in an effort not to hurt the other person's feelings, we might have to find excuses. My point is, could you do that in Italian? Pronto?
Ciao Anna,
Ciao Leonardo!
sei pronta? Andiamo a mangiare la pizza?
Oh, grazie. Ma stasera ho già un impegno.
Ma come? Te ne ho parlato ieri, mi hai detto di sì?
Ti sbagli. Se me lo avessi chiesto, ti avrei detto di no. Ho da fare.
Ma strano. Allora ci vediamo venerdì. Ho prenotato in un ristorante di pesce.
Hai prenotato? Impossibile! Venerdì mattina parto per il Polo Nord e sto via 4 anni.
Anna, se non mi vuoi vedere, dimmelo. Se mi avessi detto la verità, avrei invitato Marina.
Ma non è vero. Se mi avessi invitata, ti avrei detto del mio viaggio. Pronto? Well, I guess I'm not very good at lying. What do you think? Anyway, let's get a closer look at the excuses I made up, and together we'll learn more about the periodo ipotetico dell'irrealtà.
Il periodo ipotetico dell'irrealtà.
Let's quickly review the basics of conditional sentences, in case you need a little refresher, or if you haven't watched our past videos on this topic yet. Conditional sentences are called periodo ipotetico in Italian. A periodo in Italian grammar is not a length of time, but a sentence. Conditional sentences are made of two parts: a dependent clause that contains a condition and a main clause that contains its consequence. Se c'è il sole, andremo in spiaggia. If it's sunny, we'll go to the beach. So far, we have explained the periodo ipotetico della realtà, where the condition and the consequence are given as real and certain, and the periodo ipotetico della possibilità, where the condition and the consequence are given as possible. Se c'è il sole, andremo in spiaggia. If it's sunny, we'll go to the beach. Fact. Se ci fosse il sole, andremmo in spiaggia. If it were sunny, we would go to the beach. Possibility. In the first conditional sentence, se c'è il sole, andremo in spiaggia, we use the present and future indicative because we are talking about facts. In the second conditional sentence, se ci fosse il sole andremmo in spiaggia, we use the imperfect subjunctive in the if clause and the present conditional in the main clause because we are talking about a possibility. Needless to say, if you're not sure how to use the subjunctive mood in Italian, we have several videos on this topic. And now we are ready for the periodo ipotetico dell'irrealtà, Italian Unreal Conditionals. Can you remember our opening dialogue? Se me lo avessi chiesto ti avrei detto di no, ho da fare. Se mi avessi invitata ti avrei detto del mio viaggio. These are two unreal conditionals. Why unreal? Because we cannot change what happened or did not happen in the past, and therefore we cannot change the consequence. If you had asked me, which you did not, I would have said no, which I didn't. Can I change the situation? No. Unreal conditional. Let's get back to my friend Leonardo. Se Leonardo mi avesse invitata, gli avrei detto del mio viaggio. If Leonardo had invited me, I would have told him about my trip. Now it's too late. and the fact that I'm going to the North Pole comes as a surprise to him. Let's see how to form unreal conditionals. Which tenses should we use?
Se Paolo avesse studiato, avrebbe passato l'esame. Se tu fossi arrivato presto, avremmo preso il treno.
Se Paolo avesse studiato is our if clause. The tense avesse studiato is past perfect subjunctive, which is simply the imperfect subjunctive of essere or avere, plus the past participle of the main verb. It's not as difficult as it sounds. It goes like this. Se io avessi studiato. Se tu avessi studiato. Se lui avesse studiato. Se noi avessimo studiato. Se voi aveste studiato. Se loro avessero studiato. You know, or you should know, that some verbs form compound tenses with the auxiliary avere, to have, and others with essere, to be. Let's see a past perfect subjunctive with the verb essere. Se io fossi arrivato. Se tu fossi arrivato. Se lui fosse arrivato, or se lei fosse arrivata, of course. Se noi fossimo arrivati. Se voi foste arrivati. Se loro fossero arrivati. Similarly, the past conditional is a compound tense formed by the auxiliary avere or essere in the present conditional plus the past participle of the main verb. Se Paolo avesse studiato, avrebbe passato l'esame. Avrebbe passato l'esame is our main clause. We use here a past conditional, condizionale passato. Io avrei passato. Tu avresti passato. Lui avrebbe passato. Noi avremmo passato. Voi avreste passato. Loro avrebbero passato. Patrons, make sure to download your PDF for this video, where we provide more details and exercises to help you practice these tenses. You can also find them in a grammar textbook, of course. Now, let's put all this into practice. First, I'll tell you the complete conditional sentence in English. Then, I'll show you the exercise on the screen. Remember, we are talking about unreal conditionals in the past. If you had arrived earlier, you would have seen Paolo.
Se fossi arrivato prima, avresti visto Paolo.
If we had eaten less at lunch, we wouldn't have had a stomachache yesterday.
Se avessimo mangiato meno a pranzo, ieri non avremmo avuto mal di pancia.
If I had saved more money, I would have taken a nice trip.
Se avessi risparmiato più soldi, avrei fatto un bel viaggio.
How was it? Did you manage? The tenses are a bit tricky, but with a little practice you will learn to form these types of conditional sentences. So far, I have always talked about unreal conditionals in the past. A condition that happened or didn't happen in the past and its impossible consequence in the past. Se io avessi studiato di più, avrei passato l'esame. If I had studied more, I would have passed the exam. But the truth is that I didn't study enough and failed the exam. And I cannot change the past. What if we want to talk about an impossible event in the present or in the future? Well, if you have watched my previous lesson on conditionals, you know the answer. We use the second conditional, the one that expresses possibility. Yes, this form can also be used to speak about something that cannot happen, something that is impossible, or that I believe to be impossible. Se fossi Superman, salverei il mondo. If I were Superman, I would save the world. Se avessi le ali, volerei. If I had wings, I would fly. And this is, of course, impossible. In a nutshell, if you want to talk about the impossible result in the past of a certain condition that happened or didn't happen in the past, use this form.
Se Viola avesse mangiato meno, non avrebbe avuto mal di pancia. Se tu fossi arrivato tardi, avresti perso l'aereo.
If your impossible hypothesis is about the present, use this form.
Se avessi 1.000 milioni di euro, comprerei il Colosseo. Se io fossi un alieno, avrei 8 braccia.
Now more practice. Form conditional sentences using the prompts. The events are seen as impossible, unreal, in the past or in the present. Se bevessi sangue, sarei un vampiro. Second conditional used for impossible events in the present. Se fossi stata libera, sarei venuta con te. But I wasn't free and I didn't go with you. Third conditional. Se fossimo milionari, compreremmo una astronave. Impossible, clearly, but in the present. Second conditional. Se avessero avuto la macchina del tempo, sarebbero andati a parlare con Dante Alighieri. But they didn't have a time machine, so they didn't go to say hello to Dante Alighieri. Third conditional. As usual, I hope you found this lesson useful. Let's wrap it up with 3 conditional sentences. One for each type. Se avessi studiato, avresti capito. Se studiassi, capiresti. Se non hai capito, scrivimi. Alla prossima, non mancate!